Alright, this is gonna be Ash Vod. I think WordWoman is the person I'm doing this for is gold, I think. That's what she told me. This is a scrim, but she asked me to specifically look at her Ash play, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. Starting off on Hanamura, then I believe she plays some Ash on Dorado and Nepal, first stage on Nepal. So yeah, we'll start this out.
Back just a little bit, let them push in one or two.
Okay, so one of the first things I noticed was you position yourself up here, which is good. It's a solid spot. But why not position yourself on top of here, right? Gives you a sightline down this window. Gives you more vantage over the entire choke point. And it's just a better spot overall. If you decide you need to drop, you see they have dive, or you see they have like snipers, then you decide to drop. But if they have goats, then you have free reign, right?
Two of them, and then
positioned up
wall
on
them
top
off.
of the hut.
Bam!
So on top of the hut, or anywheres along. Actually, I'll move back a little bit further so you can see it better. It's a better camera angle.
Kite back just a little bit.
So anywhere along this balcony, catwalk area, whatever you want to call it, that's also good positioning, especially on this corner, because there's lots of cover for you to duck in and out of, and also gives you very good angles. And there's also places you can rotate to, like just above you right here, or to the bottom over here where the mini is in that doorway, or the area right above it. So this position and this corner would probably be two of the better ones. Ash has a ton of great positions on Hanamura first, and this is an alright one, but this one and this one are both better. I would say start off here, and then maybe try to rotate over to this corner, depending on how the fight's looking and what comp they're running. But both of those spots are probably better spots to start off.
One or two of them, and then wall them off so
Bam!
that we can
back them up.
Awesome.
Just murder them.
Or even if you just
If
want
they
to
go
play.
Ryan, then
So what's the
they're
deal
gonna
with
have
their
to adapt
icons again?
quickly.
Who asked?
And all of their icons were LA Valiant, so I mean.
at first, yeah.
Oh, did they change them?
Yeah.
Alright, so there's no reason for you not to throw a dynamite out here to try to land it at their door. So if you just want to like jump over here, throw it, then jump back to the position you're in right now, you can do that. Or if you just want to like try to Hail Mary it or figure out some other Ash spots where you can throw dynamites. I don't have like very many memorized, especially not for Hanamura, so I can't give you any specific ones, but there's no reason for you not to throw dynamite at the spawn door. It's like a fire strike for Reinhardt. You always want to be throwing the fire strike to get yourself early ult charge as soon as possible.
I'm
seeing-
to spell something.
Play
it's
the
just like
first.
pretty
You
Chinese.
see Puas, I see Putasa.
Play it up front. Make them think I'm not here, and then just let me know when they're coming.
Yeah, Luna, you wanna like hold
Yeah,
the
Luna,
front,
play,
sure.
go door.
Like right
Like
here.
just play it,
And,
play it right.
um,
And I'm
How come they're not pushing up?
Yeah.
When I
There's
have a bubble
couple
for
of
you.
them up heading toward window.
Good call
They're
out.
trying to
so-
throw
Obviously,
goats
when
through
I
trying to jump out.
top right.
Yeah.
Do they have a May
Oh,
wall?
that's smart.
Oh, they also have a May.
Good. You tried to throw dynamite over the shield. I'm hoping that was intentional. But that's what you should be doing, trying to get over top of the shield and then trying to shoot it. So it explodes on Ryan and anyone else is behind it, so that's good. Probably need a little more practice shooting the dynamite, because I think you missed.
D.Va, Discord to Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan
no,
takes
it's
some
the right
damage for
idea.
me. Oh, never mind.
Someone's
never mind.
purple.
I gave
Ryan's
you
purple.
Also, I wouldn't rush this sort of comp. I think it's Goats-esque. Anyway, they have a Mei and a Ryan, so you do not want to be in melee range of them. You want to be farther away from them. So you could go back into one of those positions that I mentioned before. On top of the hut, that's still a good spot because they can't really reach you there. Or on top of the balcony area, you'll still have sightlines there. And they won't be able to hurt you. But as of right now, you're in a very dangerous position because their Rhine and their Mei can just speed onto you. Yes, they're split, but they can still punish you here. So rather safe than sorry.
Discord on D.Va.
Ryan, come to me. Reloading.
This scares me.
I'm really high charge.
Good
Nobody
dynamite.
ever does anything by the book anymore.
I did end up
Discord on
killing
Diva?
2 people
Their
while I
May
was
is
just
still
trying to
behind
heal.
us.
Yeah, bubble butt went behind
Good
us.
calls.
Don't get caught by her. I'll chase her down.
Luna, you should hold up front. Let our DPS.
Yeah, I
just
know.
hold
I know
that
what I'm
stuff.
doing. I'm just
I
trying
know
to
what I'm
run
doing.
back.
I don't know who the fuck she is.
Alright.
I need my headphones up.
If I see her, I'll let you guys know. Hopefully she doesn't kill
So
me
you
by
should be
then.
resetting to your initial position.
Lucio going left,
which
probably
is
for bait.
you were gonna play here, so
No,
that's
they're
fine.
they're running up top again. They're gonna try and do it again.
They don't have the May though, or did she get out?
They got the May. Hey, they're gonna try and
Yeah,
do
they
it
still
again.
have me.
No, I mean like I thought she was still back here.
So don't be afraid
No,
to throw
she's
Oh.
dynamite more. It's only an 8-second cooldown. Especially if they're regrouping, you can use it to build early ult charge before the fight even starts. So yeah, don't be afraid to use it a little more. Especially if you like learn the timings of them and some spots, you can get a lot of effectiveness and a lot of ult charge out of it. Especially against like tank heavy comps like goats comps or whatever.
Oh, okay, so I don't have to worry about it.
That's yep. There's
That was a
Okay. So again, with going too close to the enemy comp, where like you're almost in the front line right now. Like you're right next to your Ryan, your May, who want to be at this choke, but you don't necessarily want to be. You want to still be on the high ground, or on an off angle to put in a crossfire, or to like maximize your damage, basically, right? So you want to be up on the high ground that you started onto, or the catwalk on the hut. Back to your left where the mini is, back here, not in here, not in here. But back where your Zen should be playing. Or even just on point using the wall as cover.
use this wall.
Discord on Diva.
No,
somewhat
they were making
useless.
sure we
Discord
couldn't
Ryan?
hold the choke.
Yeah, they're making it so I
That's
could
purple.
get them.
Yeah, they got me.
Oh, Zen.
Alright. So you're in the middle of this fight and you've already used your coach gun. It's gonna be off cooldown in a second. But more coordinated teams will punish you. Alright. So you
Yeah,
guys
they
are
got me.
even, Rhines. You're in the middle of this fight, you don't have coach gun, there's a Lucio right in front of you, right? So you're very easily punished in this position. So why not be up here? Even back on point, or behind you where your Zen should be by the mini. So, but all three of those spots would be better for you. You want to use your height advantage, like the vertical advantage that you can use against this team, especially teams like tank heavy comps like goats. You want to shoot them from multiple different angles, make them look at different ways, distract them. Yeah, attention is a resource.
Oh, Zen's one.
Nice, good trance.
Good trance. Good trance. 2 on point. 2 on point. Come on.
May's on me back here. No. Thanks.
Discord on break.
Reloading.
Discord Lucio.
Lucio low.
Oh, that's a terrible wall. Fuck me.
I
Damn,
bought for
I
next
need
fight.
both of those.
Good.
Alright.
I have nano.
Good
Not
taking
freeze.
60%
your
to
position
trance.
again. Nice.
I'm almost at grab also.
Okay.
Let's just use a nano bob and save everything else maybe.
From what I've seen, nano bob isn't that
What
effective.
kind of a?
Okay.
Oh, no.
got
They're trying to
Oh.
go around the
Discord
line.
on Ryan.
Yeah, now I see what kind of
Okay.
Oh, no.
So you should be calling out this May, because your Anna should not be that close to the May. May needs to be called out sooner, as soon as she's like here, or even like coming out of this doorway, and you see her, you need to call that and make sure you tell your Anna to rotate, so Anna can rotate up here or on point with a Zen or something. But you need to call that out sooner.
They're trying to
Oh.
go around the
Discord
line.
on Ryan.
Yeah, now I see what kind of
May on your Ana? I'm dead.
Oh shit.
Come on, she's just one. I'm quite dead.
I think.
Discord Diva.
Oh, that's winnable.
Discord.
For some reason, we have a overall vault.
We have 6 ults, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to only be using like 2 at a time. So
Who charges fastest? I mean,
Well,
should we try to get a Shatter Bob
Well-
in here?
is that a thing?
It's not really,
Shatter
but
Bob.
like it can be.
Okay.
I'll
we,
check
fine,
we
Bob.
can make it a thing.
I'll check Bob early on, and we'll see if we need
Should we just-
anything else to clean it up.
So you guys are talking about ults, which is very good. It's very good. But a combo that I can suggest with Bob is Bob Shatter, because you can use Bob to throw their Ryan up in the air, and then your Ryan can shatter underneath of his shield, because the Ryan's going to be in midair. He can't do anything, right? So that is a decent combo that you can do. So don't be afraid to like tell your Ryan that, and yeah, like that is a decent play. It's definitely viable.
I fucked that up.
That's
Oh,
a
wait, no,
big
I didn't.
boy.
Fuck it, I'm tossing this. This is huge.
No more ults. No more ults.
How is
Lucio on
Tater
point.
not
Lucio
dead?
point.
How is Tater not
Lucio
dead?
dead.
Who's on point?
Good shot.
Lucio dead.
Reloading.
Alright, now we have Grav. I could have saved that for Grav. I just wanted to make sure we kill him.
If you wall them off so
Transcribe
that they can't get in,
Yeah.
they have
Grab
no
them.
time to fix
Grab
this.
them early. Grab early.
Dank is still the dank.
I'm walling them off right now.
Diva
No.
top.
Huge. Is Steve gonna be
Yep.
able to touch? No.
Daria's coming to point.
This is
Discord
just a
Daria.
real charge for me.
Discord Lucio.
Oh, that got me.
Jesus.
Shit.
Nice, thanks.
Nice.
Boy,
It should reset, right?
that sounded in sync right there.
Alright.
No, it will not
Well, good.
automatically reset. We need to go to the lobby and switch it so that it.
Alright, so
Oh, I need to switch this
dynamite
up.
earlier, some position
No,
things.
No, it automatically resets. What?
Also practicing
no, it'll
your
only do comp rules, so it'll have us do
like practicing shooting dynamite.
first match.
You don't actually need to move your
I
cursor
really needed one too.
when you throw dynamite, because dynamite will fall will fall directly onto your cursor like as soon as you shoot if you wanted to. So you don't actually even need to move your mouse after you throw it, but you know, depending on when you want it to explode and stuff. So just recommend practicing that and getting used to it. Coach Gun, there was, I mean, you played almost front line, so you had, if you used it to give yourself more separation and position yourself a little better, I think that just goes in with the positioning thing. But
Tick anyway. Okay.
We reset it so that we have to take both points. Should we try something?
Doing it.
Synergy. I
so
mean,
do you
Can we
run,
try to
you run
depending on how
Sombra
they
here,
set up?
right?
I'll see what.
Pretty sure you run Sombra, so I need to skip ahead. To Dorado, I think it was. Something else I sort of noticed was there's a lot of shots that you're just sort of spamming out, especially when you're unscoped, you sort of like spam and end up using all of your shots rather than taking the time to aim each shot. So if you need to like slow it down each shot, like to aim properly and get your cursor on the target, and that is something that you need to work on and practice with. Because trigger discipline is a very big thing, especially for lower ranks. I mean, I'm 3600 right now, and I even struggle with that at times when I'm playing DPS. So trigger discipline is very important. If you can work on that, that would be good. And that will improve your aim a lot. Just like, yeah, it's not an easy thing to practice, but if you think about it more and take more time and be patient with your shots,
Working anymore.
it can really help your
I hear
aim.
you.
Okay.
Lana.
So-
Are-
Sweet.
Which rain possibly?
I do think that's a good.
To you.
Okay,
If they
So-
do, I'm gonna go jug.
can't
No,
remember.
she's
Do you
not.
Nice.
play?
He's dead.
Do you swap to Ash on attack or defense? I don't remember.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our
Death for 2.
Ryan's
I think it was on defense. Yeah,
Heal
it's on
me.
defense.
Just finish this game as fast as possible.
Right, you start off on Widow,
Are you right there? Oh!
and then I think you swap
Ow,
to Ash.
Ash
Here.
is up
Right.
here?
Okay. Let me go back a little bit more because I think there was something. Yeah.
Get down, I mean.
I got blown up.
So use Coach Gun more when getting back from Swan, because I think I'm pretty sure that was the first time you used it, and that would have been like you would have been back to the fight sooner. So use it more when
Ow,
getting
Ash
back
is
from
up here?
fights, because you have time. It'll be off cooldown by the time your next
The
fight
payload
starts.
isn't being contested.
I tried to,
alright.
but they didn't want me to.
alright. Regroup.
Yeah, we didn't handle that well.
They
Maybe
didn't
switch
really
off
know.
Bastion.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Again, we can't take Active God's ideas.
I don't know why you guys keep.
Never take Active God's ideas.
Damn, you can't.
I'm okay with that. Like you're looking for some extra ult charge. Your team's there, like, and they didn't
So-
push you.
I didn't
They
get
hadn't pushed up to the corner, which they should
Oh,
have,
Jesus.
but they
It's
didn't.
alright, we're fine.
So that's
Wait,
totally fine.
I'm actually just gonna play Bastion like I normally play Bastion, not active.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, that was a big key of that too.
Frank is
Nothing.
down.
Ow. Heals. Yeah. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, mow him the fuck down.
Nice.
Denied.
Massive. Absolutely massive.
Nice charge.
Here's another one.
Genji on me.
Anti, 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 anti,
Tracking.
anti, anti, anti.
Tracking.
Wait, how many?
Good shot.
Okay, since we're actually stabilizing, I'm gonna take this time to go around.
I don't have a
I
sleep.
don't have anything for that yet.
Where's Bob?
I almost have
Right in
grab.
front of payload.
Okay, Anna's dead.
Oh,
Fuck.
fuck.
Oh fuck. Yeah, can I grab?
So just another positioning thing. Where are you now? Just think about that. You're in the middle of a street. You're behind your Ryan shield, so that's okay, right? But he just got grabbed, and you don't want to trust your Ryan shield if you don't have to, right? So you can play back behind you by the van, or you can play by this corner here. I think your Zen's also playing there. But you want to try not to be in the open in the middle of streets and things like that, right? So hug corners, hug cover. You have to make use of natural cover as best you can. You can also play high ground here, which I think the only one who could contest you is maybe Lucio and their Ashe. So that would also be a safe position for you to play. But we want to try to avoid standing in the middle of streets like this, even if you're behind your tanks. Right? So if you can create more separation between the enemy's tanks, the enemy's front line, and you, since you're playing Ashe and you're more of a mid-range DPS. Sorry, English is hard. You want to create more space in between the enemy's front lines and you, since you're more mid-ranged. So don't be afraid to give some space, even if you're not confident in your aim. Still working on positioning is still important, is still good, and it will help you improve. Obviously there are times when you'll just need to work on your mechanics and aiming and stuff. But I would suggest taking if you're playing comp or something, I would suggest focusing on one aspect of improving your gameplay. So is it ability usage? Is it ult usage? Is it comboing ults or cover positioning? Or is it something like mechanics, right? So if you want to play a comp game, like a couple comp games where you just focus on position, like, okay, I'm going to make sure I'm using cover as the best I can, or I'm just going to focus on trying to improve my mechanics or whatever, and ability usage and things like that. I would suggest taking a couple games like that and just focusing on one thing and like actively thinking about it and trying to improve on it.
I'm searching. I'm gonna upload this character.
Can I counter grab this?
Zen, can I get a heal, please?
Get you low, get you low, get you low, get you low.
Was our Ana dead?
They only have two. They only have two.
Right? You're still standing in the middle of the street.
I could have waited half a second. I probably could have waited a lot of seconds, but they only have Ash and Azari on the point. So.
That's okay, they ran off. They're
would.
playing corner.
You're about to get dynamited? Yeah.
We gotta try to focus Azari. She has grab probably, and oh no, she's grab. Just kidding.
I can bob whenever.
I'm gonna have Nano this fight.
Nano Bob.
Where are your tanks? That's a good question to ask yourself. Where are your tanks? They're back here, right? So, as a mid-range DPS, you don't want to be close to the enemy's front line. But any DPS, pretty much every DPS wants to be behind your front line, right? So your tanks. You always have to know where your tanks are. So if you don't know where your tanks are in the game, just ask yourself, where are my tanks? And if you don't know where they are and they're behind you, you're probably out of position. Or your tanks are cowards and you should be yelling at them. But you're also probably out of position more so than they are.
They might have shattered.
Just
press
any ideas
W
we
for
should
head.
take? Or...
Oh, I ain't getting.
Bobby!
Ryan's low.
Oh, and the programs.
He's so
Fireball
low.
it.
That was a solid, Bob.
Oh, watch out! Fire.
Like to see you take high ground. Nice. Good.
Zen, can I get some heals? I'm behind you. Thanks.
I'll be looking for some really dynamites. Yes, good job.
You're taking a lot of hits
Try
there.
to build all charge back up as fast as
Yeah, block
possible.
TNT.
So you do have to be aware. So you do have to be aware they're running Ash Genji, so both of them can contest you high ground. You have your Doomfist up there, so that's something. But you're not gonna have a D.Va to protect you. You're gonna have less heals because your supports are positioned. I think they're positioned in main just before the checkpoint, probably in that doorway. That's where I would guess they would be positioned. That's not where I'd want them positioned, but that's probably where they are. So you're gonna have less healing, especially if you're not conscious of going back to get healing from them, because you might be out of LOS for them. So this is good. You went back for healing.
Okay.
Ryan, I'm gonna nano you this fight.
Alright.
Watch her grab. Watch her grab. Watch her grab.
I'm gonna wait till you land the shatter, and then I'm gonna give you the nano.
Nice, nice, nice.
Ryan's purple.
Their Ryan is one hit.
Right. So
Dropping it now.
it's lagging.
Oh,
Fuck.
fuck.
On that team shield.
That's both
We have
our
no supports.
supports.
Where the fuck did he go?
It's just Ryan on point and Ana.
Oh.
Okay, Ryan's nano.
Visor, why you do this to
Oh,
me?
that's so fucking close to dead. Damn it! I tried to fucking beat you.
Yeah,
Cocky
I
about
can't
that.
stall this.
I got way too cocky on that. Fuck me for not having a.
Stupid visor. Should be this one.
Double tank was that?
Should be. What was it? Further. It was 102. 2. Okay, it's right before this. Okay.
Okay.
Ryan, I'm gonna nano you this fight.
Alright.
Actually, totally forgot what I was.
Watch her grab, watch her grab, watch her grab.
I'm gonna wait till you land the shatter, and then I'm gonna give you the nano.
Nice, nice,
Okay.
nice, nice. Their Ryan is
So, remember how on Hanamura I said you want to be throwing dynamites on the top of, like, just over the top of Ryan's shields, and then shooting them so it burns him and anyone who's behind it. This is a perfect opportunity for you to do this here. You have dynamite. Stupid black box. Ryan's purple and 1, so he's not getting any healing. And there's this nice gap right above him. You can just check one over, just pop it on him, and he's dead. Right? So this would be the perfect time to try that out. Think of it like McCree's flashbang, right? Sometimes you'll see McCree's throw flash over the shield to stun the Ryan, right? Similar concept here. So I'd like to see you do that a little bit more against Ryan,
one hit.
rather than just spamming into his shield, because he has a full health shield, which isn't going to do anything unless he drops it. So
Dropping it now.
Oh,
Fuck.
fuck.
I don't have team shield.
That's both
We got
our
no supports. Where the fuck did he go?
It's just Ryan on point and Anna.
Oh.
Okay, Ryan's nano.
Oh, Anna's so fucking close to dead. Damn it, I tried to fucking beat you.
Ah, yeah,
Tracking
I
about
can't
that.
stall this.
might be beating a dead horse here, but oh well. Throw dynamite. Helps build alt charge. And there's no reason not to.
Stall this.
I got way too
Good
cocky on that.
positioning.
Fuck me for not having a team shield for either of you on that.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I need to be back with you guys more. I need to expect that. Fuck. Playing way too aggro. Got him. Nice.
Luna, you should hold down there.
Yeah.
Luna, you want to drop?
Anna to your right.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, me. Thanks.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Ash left it.
Lucian's behind and Ash.
Right, now you have the high ground, which gives you an even better angle to throwing dynamite over Ryan's shield. So that was fine, but it could have been more effective, right? By throwing it over his shield and hitting more people with it.
You guys good back there?
Unlucky. And
Goes back to
Ryan, back up. Ryan, Luna,
Yeah,
back up.
back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Fuck.
100%. That's fucking insane.
Do you want me to
just-
stall this with Bob?
Yeah.
Bobby.
Oh, he got slapped!
okay, you're lucky that someone woke him up. But when using Bob, you want to try to look for things that are going to shut him down. So things like sleep or hack will both pretty much make Bob useless. So you want to look out to see if Anna uses sleep here to try to wait to use Bob. You know, just a little thing. Try and keep in mind when you're trying to use Bob, but it's not the biggest deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone woke him up right
behind you,
away.
behind you.
Yep, shattered.
Oh my god.
Dropping it. Big
Huge.
boy.
Okay, don't
Great
grab, don't
shadow.
grab, don't grab.
That was huge. Nice.
That's how you stall.
Alright, so we have Grav, Trans Nano.
They probably have.
Why not just use Coach Gun? It'll be off cooldown by the time they make their next push. Right? So not sure why you're taking the long way
Grab,
around.
grab as well.
Unless you're positioned back
And
here.
Bob.
Oh, Anna's right here. Got her. Alright, they're stalled out now. Word.
Oh, they're
Thanks.
going in there.
They were trying to.
Okay.
Man. They might be left, but.
This is
nice.
good.
Now I
I
gotta
like
grab.
this spot. So this is good because you can take in off angle and you can set up a crossfire if they start to push in. You can drop and do it, and there's a mega here if you take poke. But you can always just come back up to this high ground and you're safe, unless Genji chases you or something stupid. Yeah.
You wanna push him here? Nah, fuck it. Never mind.
And Ash never ceases to misses me.
I got hit.
They're riding really low.
Someone go to the. Ash go to the left. Ash to the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could do a grab nano. Like if you grab, I could nano Ryan. and that'll
would.
collect them.
Sorry, I fed.
Yeah, I don't need to say anything there. You know, you fucked up.
We
Oh!
don't have a defensive ult. Grab the Genji. Grab the Genji.
Whoa, is my luck. I think
I thought we did, sorry.
I just got the unluckiest dash in the world. I dashed in and I immediately got grabbed.
Yeah, I just got the unluckiest.
So, you're running into a choke point to try to stall a point, right? But you scope in, which slows you down, so you don't want to be doing that. And you're gonna want to be trying to use your coach gun early here before you get shattered. And it's easy for me to say like, oh, just use coach gun before you get shattered, right? But no, you should be trying to use coach gun to get out of this choke. Because as soon as, well, assuming that you don't scope in here,
I
right?
dashed in and
As soon as you turn this corner, Genji's already see you. Their Ryan's right over here, so I'm pretty sure he knows. He saw you as well, right? So it's 3 people shooting you as you're going through this tight area, and they're gonna do everything they can to stop you from touching the card because you're the only one that can touch right now, right? So this is basically a kill box, or choke point is just easier, and because I don't really want to go into explaining kill boxes in super in depth right now. But you should be trying to use your coach gun to get out of this choke point or kill box as soon as possible, right? So as soon as you hit this corner, do 180 coach gun, and I'll probably forward, and then turn around and start looking forward again, and keep going to point. That's also something you should probably work on, like 180s to use coach gun, or just flicks in general to use coach gun to get your maximum value out of them. Like as proof from the last fight where you missed your coach gun, you need to practice your coach gun more to be more comfortable with it and understand how it works a little better, projectile and all that stuff. But you should be trying to use your coach gun to get out of this kill box or choke point.
and I immediately got grabbed.
Yeah, I just got the unluckiest. And that was straight up bully.
Get on, get on, get on.
Can we get on?
Ah, I tried.
And then
Sanctum.
Oh no.
I think you play Ash for one round here. I'll try to find it real quick.
Alright.
Except anything else, I'm sorry. I won't. Who's drinking chips through a straw?
Playing
First
Ash
persons this
on
time
Okay,
also.
this is a good map for
Now
Ash.
we're po. Oh wait, no, it just
Kind of
changes
depends like
'cause-
what your
never mind.
team wants to do, so you can kind of play. Like you as Ash can play pillar side, which is would be on the left side of the spawn. Or you can play on point with your Orisa, or in the cubby, or you can play on the right side using that wall just before point for cover, or in that in the mega area over there as well. So there's lots of different angles and ways you can play this. Probably the best would be. Actually, I don't know. Let's just see what you do. Let's just.
Yeah, alright, let's get some sick fucking. What's the Orisa thing called?
Huh?
Orisa's right click. What the term?
Where are we going?
Let's
Straight
take
to point. Straight to point.
right. Oh, I'll say right corner, but that works.
Left to right.
Or left corner.
We should really have. Oh, never mind. I can't.
Oh, they're on point.
have a fair.
All right, fuck. Gonna be a shit
Okay.
battle.
This is good. I mean, ideally, I would rather have your tanks come this side and put pressure immediately on point, but that's just how I like to play this map. And then have like you and your Anna, or you and your Zen. Who would it be? Anna? I think it's Anna. I'd prefer to have you and your Anna over here, and then your tanks and Zen and your on point, and then your Genji would be like off on the right, doing flanking stuff, or maybe over here on pillar side, putting pressure on whoever's over there. Whatever. Um, but just in general, this is good because you're taking a different angle. Um, so setting up an off angle or a crossfire is very good.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I never done that.
Warded.
Shots.
I fucked up.
Nice. We're up.
Lucio so low.
Look, should throw that dynamite earlier. There's two of them there, right? You can get both of them with it. And you do more damage pulling your all charge. So, if there's two people grouped up, don't be afraid to use dynamite. Hog used hook so you can play aggressive.
They're off the Pharah onto Doomfist now.
Okay.
How long does this thing charge? 8 seconds. That's
Turn the shield a little. Turn the shield a little towards. Yeah.
Genji's just
So playing aggressive initially was alright here because Hog used hook and there was no way for you to get punished. But you've overstayed your welcome, right? And your tanks are playing on point, which is fine because you're doing an Orisa Hog combo, so they're probably just gonna want to like set up in one spot, bunker it, or anchor there, basically, right? So you playing aggressively initially is fine, but you've overstayed your welcome, right? So if someone comes to your right, like a hog, you're dead. You're not, I mean, like, you're kind of safe from the Orisa at this point because you can just, like, coach gun away, back towards the Mega, back behind you towards the Mega, and that's fine. But, again, mid-range DPS, right? And where are your tanks? They're on point. So, what's a better position over here on pillars or back just by the stairs there, or even on the this part, but on your side, like just before point on your side, all of which would be decent positions. Now, if you saw the hog go around this side and was going with the Orisa, then you can step back a little more and then you can play another off angle, and that's okay. You are still playing very aggressive and very risky, but it's still not as bad as what it is now, right? Because where's their hog?
jump from point. I can heal you.
Oh.
Ah, there he is. Okay, so he did end up going that way. So you're somewhat okay, and he just used hook, so there isn't really a way to punish you. But if he had come around to the right of you, you were fucked, right? Or if anyone comes around to the right.
Oh, I missed that. Wow, I'm bad.
Oh, I am bad.
Damn.
Alright. So now there's an Ashe to your right. Arrows. There's a Lucio behind you. And there's a hog in front of you. Right? So you can't go back to this Mega. You can't retreat over there. Right? You can't go backwards because there's a Lucio there and he's just going to boop you around and stuff. And you can try to go forward, or, I mean, yeah. But Hog's going to have his hook up in, I think it's like 1 second now or something like that. He might have it now already, but it's unless he's totally stupid and doesn't ignore you, and you've already used your coach gun, right? So you've used your coach gun and you're still in danger. So that needs to be changed, right? So you need to change your position quicker, according to what you see the enemies doing.
Coming back
Kinda
to point
interested.
skills? Nope, too
Yeah,
late.
no, you don't get out. Okay. So you need to rotate quicker. So if it's back through here, that's fine. If it's like jumping over this wall on the other side with your coach gun and going to point, that's also, I mean, it's a way out. Basically, those are your only two ways out. Yeah, but you need to react quicker and you need to do scouting a little bit more. So understand what path they're taking and what is going to threaten you, right? So is the Ashe going to duel you and is that a threat? Is Halt Hook a threat? Is just their Roadhog behind you? Right? So figuring out what's gonna be a threat to you when you're playing, right?
I have Nano.
Oh, my god. Why is she landing so many good shots on me?
You want me to back out?
I
No,
have blade
Zion
next
point.
fight.
We want to
no,
build
no.
percentage.
Alright, go.
So first of all, this is a hog, right? That's not your hog, right? That's the enemy.
Alright, go.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. Okay. So there's a Doomfist and a hog to your left, and you're just sort of blindly running to point. And I'm sorry if any of this comes off as mean or anything. That's not how I mean it. Right? So that was a good coach gun. But then you run immediately straight back at the hog. Right? So why not? Go back a little bit. Back here, right?
She lands so many good
So-
shots on me.
We're trying to stall point. We have an Orisa there. Also, who else is that? Anna? I think it's Anna. I wasn't actually paying attention that well. But you have Orisa and someone else on point, right? So there's no reason for you to run straight to point, right? Even if you guys are trying to stall it out, you can let them go to point, you can let them die on point, and then you can coach gun over to point, or just run on point after they're dead, which will maximize your time, the percentage that you're getting. It'll also help you build alt charge faster, and it's much preferable than you just running onto point with your Orisa, right? Again, you're a mid-range DPS. So why not go left with your Zen, who's actually in a great position. He's actually where he should be. Good on him or her, whatever. So they're in the right position, and you should be trying to play with them right now. And that gives you a much better angle to build alt charge as well. It gives you clear line of sights over on the point.
You want me to back
You go
out?
this
Yeah,
way,
No,
I have blade
Zion
next
point.
fight.
We want to
no,
build
no.
percentage.
right? You don't really see anything. Whereas if you're over here, you see everything. You see the entire point, right? So this side, pillar side is very good for Ashe. Any Ashe or Widow or Soldier, any of those like mid to long range DPS, that's preferably where you want to play, right? Especially if it's with your Zen.
Alright, go. Oh, good call, good call. I mean, what's up, Ahmed?
Well, I'm afraid for my
Alright,
life.
Ahmed.
Or
Alright,
maybe we'll
alright.
just win this fight. You know, whatever.
Boop him. Yes.
Come on. God,
Alright,
this
hold on.
map
Alright,
scares me.
Oh, it's amazing. Alright, here, yeah. Alright. Next time they put a shoot up, get that nice over the top, and I'll fucking
We can nano blade.
I
We
just-
can nano blade next fight.
I got a supercharger.
Nano Blade. Let's try Nano Blade. And then they're coming right. You might need to reposition this a little.
Honestly, you're a little bit lucky you got out there. You need to turn a lot quicker and get out.
Oh,
Or
You
use
going out?
coach gun to get
Or
out
when do you want to
further.
go?
Doom behind.
oh, he went up. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Oh, we're
Oh,
dead.
I'm down.
Yeah, I was gonna try to get a fat Roadhog and just boop everybody off, but
It's alright. The defensive ult in case we need it. And
That's
try
alright.
not to throw anything else.
care.
Dynamite.
I hit you square in the face.
Dynamite.
Alright,
Alright,
Okay,
where we
right.
going?
wanna go around?
Yeah!
I watch out.
Motherfucking.
That's fine.
We lose
Is that the
anyone?
burn that?
No?
Alright, let's go.
I go.
Ready, good, Jay?
We can watch for.
So where are your tanks? Your tanks are over here. There's a shield here, right? You're in front of your shield. You have a little bit of cover, and you have coach gun, so you can get away if you need to. But this is one of the most punishing comps for people who are out of position. And even people who are in position can get caught out by this comp, right? It's a halt hook combo. It's very powerful, especially if used properly. So you have to be very careful when putting yourself in this situation. You're staring down a hog and a wrist. I think the hog's there.
Lucio boop.
Nano,
I don't
give me
love.
Nano.
Right? And it's good. You went back and you realized that, which is good.
I don't love this.
All right.
Push.
Doom
Hog
is
purple.
behind again.
Grabbing the
Good calls.
Carter.
Lucio boop. Lucio boop.
Good tries.
Nice, nice, nice.
Nothing wrong with a little self-improvement.
Let's just sleeping.
Again, use coach gun to get back faster.
Are we winning this? Nice. We win this. Can we?
Yeah, I think we actually can.
Henry.
Yeah.
Up into this, up into this.
You're gonna hit with that, yeah.
Better get on the objective. You don't want to miss out.
They have to feed in.
Oh.
Good boop.
Don't get pulled. Don't
Doom's
get
one,
pulled.
Doom's one.
Right. And this is a good example of what I said earlier about trigger discipline. It really looks like you're just like firing bullets around him because you're just spamming it. But if you take half a second or whatever, and just focus and not worry about hitting him, you just need to be patient with it.
Get pulled. Don't
Doom's
get
one,
pulled.
Doom's one.
Oh no.
Okay. Act of God. Never. I don't want
Right,
to
if
do
you
a
take
redo.
a little
Doom's
more
fine.
time, you be patient with your shots, you kill him before he gets ult off. He ends up C9ing, so that's whatever, but, you know. It was just an example of what I was saying earlier about trigger discipline, which is important. And
I swear to God,
Alright,
I'm
cool.
I
terrible.
think
as
that
a
was
reset.
it. I think,
That's
you know,
right before.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
the
you change
Reaper
this down
man.
here. Okay. So that will be it. So some general things. Ask yourself where are your tanks. So you're not putting yourself in dangerous positions. You are mid-range DPS, so you shouldn't be standing next to your Vine. Remember a couple of those positioning spots I showed you. Don't be afraid to use Coach Gun to get back quicker. Use Dynamite more out of spawn. So if you're defending, throw at their spawn doors, try to get some early ult charge. Yeah, or if you see two or more people grouped up, don't be afraid to use it. Bob uses Vigil right, so don't need to talk about that. Be patient in your shots. And practice a little bit more with them. Get used to the mechanic. I would just say practice a lot more with Ashe if you want to get better with her because you need to get used to her coach gun a little bit more. More comfortable with it, and same with the dynamite. Sometimes it takes a little bit to like get used to actually like shooting the dynamite after you throw it. But that's something you can. But both the coach gun and dynamite are things that you should practice more, and you just need time and time to work on the mechanics basically. I will show you the one thing I was talking about with Ashe where it's just like you don't actually have to need to move your crosshair. I'll try to do that in Overwatch real quick. I'm gonna pull this up and hopefully my OBS works properly and I can actually see it. Just change the scenes over real quick. Right. Okay, I'll go into training range. If it loads.
My business.
OBS is
My
not like
rules.
Overwatch right now. Anyway,
Fire in the hole.
I fucked that up. Stupid frames.
I will protect the innocent. My business. My
Right.
rules.
So you don't need to move it if you shoot as soon as it. If you shoot as soon as it will let you, you will hit dynamite. So that's from our close range stuff.
Double kill.
So that's just a little thing I thought I'd show you. Don't know if you knew about that. But yeah, you just need to work more with shooting the grenades, get more practice with it, and with and also with the coach gun. So yeah, hopefully this was useful, and hopefully I didn't offend you in any way. Yeah.